It was my mother's birthday. She was hosting a small party at her house. Nothing wild, just close family, food on the tables, and everyone talking a little louder than usual. I had driven a little over an hour to get there, and for most of the night, everything felt normal, comfortable even. But as the evening went on, the mood outside started to change. By the time the sun went down, the snow started coming hard. At first it was light, almost peaceful, but within an hour it turned into thick sheets blowing sideways across the windows. The kind of snow that sticks instantly and muffles sound. I checked my phone, it was getting late. I told my parents I should probably head out before it gets worse. They insisted I stay. I've had a few beers, nothing crazy, but enough for them to suggest I sleep it off. I felt fine, clear-headed, steady. I didn't want to be stuck there overnight, so I grabbed my jacket and headed to my car. That decision still bothers me. The first part of the drive was fine. Quiet roads, snow falling heavier every mile. About 25 minutes in, visibility dropped fast. The headlights barely cut through the white in front of me. The road went from wet to completely buried. Then my steering wheel stopped responding. The car started sliding sideways. I tried to correct it, gently like you're supposed to. It didn't matter. The tires caught nothing. The next thing I knew, I slid into a shallow ditch. The car jolted to a stop. The engine was still running, the headlights were on, but I was stuck. I was on a narrow back road, dense woods on both sides. No street lights, no houses, just trees, snow, and silence. I called for a tow truck. They said it could be over an hour. I called my dad. He told me to stay in the car and lock the doors. He said he was on his way. So I waited. At first I only heard the wind and the snow hitting the car. Then I heard something else. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, crunching through the fresh snow, and they were getting closer. I leaned forward, trying to see through the windshield, but the snowfall was too heavy. The woods beyond the headlights were just dark shapes. The footsteps didn't stop. They circled the car. That's when panic set in. I cracked the door open slightly and looked down. There were footprints, fresh ones, deep, uneven, circling my car. Who would be out here, in this weather, on a dead road in the middle of nowhere? That's when I noticed a narrow path leading into the woods. It looked worn, like it was used often. Against my better judgment, I grabbed my pistol from the glove box and stepped out of the car. The cold hit instantly. I followed the path about 50 feet into the trees. That's when I saw the blood. Dark against the snow, a trail of it. I followed it a few more steps until it led to a deer lying on its side. At first I thought I had been hit by a car, but something was wrong. The deer's head was gone. Not torn, not mangled, gone. A deep fear hit me all at once. Whatever did this wasn't an accident, and whatever made those footprints was close. I turned and walked back towards my car, trying not to run. When I reached it, my hands were shaking. I grabbed the door handle and I opened the door. I nearly passed out. Sitting in my passenger seat was the deer's head. Its eyes were open. Snow was melting into the fabric beneath it. I slammed the door shut and locked it. 2 minutes later, I saw headlights through the snow. My dad pulled up behind me. He ran to my car. He looked at my face and told me to get in his car immediately. We didn't talk on the drive back. I never asked him what he saw in my car, and he's never brought it up since. I used to walk my dog late at night almost every day. It was part of our routine, after work, after dinner, when everything finally got quiet. The area I lived in backed up to a stretch of woods, nothing officially marked as a trail, just a wide dirt path locals use for walking dogs. I'd walked it so many times, I barely thought about it anymore. That's probably why I didn't take the warning signs seriously. My dog was extremely well trained. I'd had him for years. He never wandered far. When no one else was around, I'd let him off the leash. He always stayed close, always came back the second I called his name. That night felt normal at first. Cold, quiet, no wind, the kind of stillness where even your footsteps sound too loud. The trees formed a dark wall on both sides of the path, blocking out any distant streetlights. I checked my phone, just past 10 p.m. About 15 minutes into the walk, I felt it. That sudden, unexplainable sense that something was wrong. There was no sound, no movement, nothing I can point to. Just this heavy feeling in my chest, like I was being watched. I slowed my pace, scanning the tree line, telling myself I was just tired. I almost laughed it off. Still, out of habit, I called my dog back and clipped the leash on. I remember thinking it was stupid. Nothing ever happened out there, but the air felt different, too quiet, like the woods were holding their breath. We turned around and started heading back. About 10 minutes later, I heard my dog's name, spoken clearly from the woods. At first, my brain didn't register what was wrong. It just sounded familiar, casual, calm. Then it hit me. It was my voice. Same tone, same cadence, the same way I called him. My heart dropped so hard, it felt like my legs might give out. I stopped walking instantly. My dog did too. His ears shot up, his body stiffened. He stared towards the tree line. The voice came again, calling my dog from deeper in the woods. I couldn't move. Every instinct in my body screamed that if I responded, if I even acknowledged it, something terrible would happen. My dog started pulling slightly towards the sound, whining under his breath. That scared me more than the voice itself. Whatever was out there knew his name, and knew how I sounded. I tightened my grip on the leash, whispered for my dog to stay. My mouth felt so dry. My heartbeat was pounding so loud I thought it would give us away. The trees looked darker now, like the shadows had thickened. The voice didn't shout. It didn't sound angry. It sounded patient, like it was waiting. After a few seconds that felt way too long, I slowly backed away, never taking my eyes off the spot where the voice had come from. My dog kept glancing back, torn between me and whatever was calling him. The voice didn't follow. It didn't move closer. It just stopped. And somehow that made it worse. I didn't run. I didn't turn around. I walked backwards until the path widened and the faint glow of the streetlights came into view. Only then did I turn and walked as fast as I could back home. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I tried to rationalize it. Maybe someone was messing with me. Maybe my mind filled in the blanks. Maybe I imagined it. But here's the thing. I never told anyone my dog's name, and the voice didn't just sound like me. It sounded exactly like the way I say it when I want him to come back. We never walked that path again. And sometimes, late at night when everything is quiet, my dog still lifts his head suddenly, ears perked like he hears something I don't. I didn't remember any of this until my friend brought it up years later. We were just talking, nothing serious. Then he casually said, "You know you used to sleepwalk, right?" I laughed at first. I figured he meant once or twice as a kid. Then he told me what I used to say. Growing up, I sleepwalked a lot. Not every night, but often enough that my parents stopped being surprised. At first, it seemed harmless. I'd wander into the hallways, stand in the doorways, sometimes just stop in the middle of a room and stare at nothing. The strange part was that my eyes were always open. Not rolled back, not half closed, open. Like I was awake. My parents said I moved like I knew exactly where I was going. I never bumped into furniture, never tripped. Sometimes if they spoke to me, I'd answer, but my voice sounded wrong, flat, calm, like I was reading something I couldn't see. At first I just mumbled, then the words became clear. My mom told me there were nights I'd sit straight up in bed, breathing hard, staring at the wall. And without any emotion I'd say, "He's trying to get me." Not yelling, not scared, just stating it. Other nights I'd say things like, "I can't stop running, he's right behind me, don't let him hear me." Always the same tone, controlled, like panic being held back. The worst part? I never remember any of it. Doctors said it was night terrors, stress, and overactive imagination. They told my parents I'd grow out of it. But then came the night that changed everything. I was around 16. My parents woke up to the sound of the back door opening. They rushed downstairs, thinking someone was breaking in. Instead, they found me standing outside, barefoot in the snow. The door was wide open behind me, cold air pouring into the house. I wasn't shivering, I wasn't confused. I was just standing there, staring into the woods behind our house. My dad grabbed me, shook me, yelled my name. I didn't respond. Instead, I leaned forward slightly and said, "He knows I'm awake now." That was the last time my parents ever saw me sleepwalk, or at least that's what they thought. Years later, when I was living alone, things started happening again. Small things at first. Scratches on the inside of my bedroom door when I woke up. Mud tracked across the floor, even though I hadn't been outside. Then there were the recordings. I found audio files on my phone one morning, files I didn't remember making, all recorded between 2 and 4 a.m. I listened to one. It was me, breathing hard, whispering, "Run, don't stop, he's closer tonight." Then, under my voice, there was something else. Another set of breaths, slow, close, not mine. I deleted the recordings after that. I lock my door every night now. I don't sleep in complete darkness, and I avoid mirrors late at night, because sometimes I catch my reflection looking delayed. Every once in a while, right before I fall asleep, I feel it again. That same childhood fear, that same certainty that something is chasing me. And sometimes I wake up standing in my room, heart racing, with no memory of getting there. Only the overwhelming feeling that something is watching me.